Hey, how's it going, everyone? What is up, and welcome to my Flash episode 16 top 5 moments for this week. This was a really good episode, in my opinion. Not as good as last week's, but it was still really good. So let's go ahead and get into it. So my number 5 moment is the Rogues return, plus Lisa Snart, and they get the name the Rogues this season. Without spoiling too much for the next moment, Flash and Cold are talking, and Flash calls him the Rogues, or them the Rogues, and he just goes with it. But yeah, anyways, the Rogues return this week. They capture Cisco, and they just wreak all kinds of havoc like usual, and it's pretty cool to see the Golden Glider there. Lisa Snart, Captain Cold's sister, gets her gun from Cisco, and it's just really cool to see them together. In the New 52, in the first 2 volumes, the Golden Glider was a pretty big character, as well as the whole Rogues, cast. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see them actually coming together and getting the name, and I can't wait to see Mirror Master. So on to number 4, Cold and Barry come to an agreement. So after a little bit of torture, big spoilers, after a little bit of torture of Cisco's brother while they're captured, Cisco has to give up the Flash's real name to Captain Cold. So Cold knows who Barry is, and they come to an agreement: no killing, but you can stay here and try to get money or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see them come to an agreement, kind of like in the comic books with Cold and Wally. I haven't really read too many of the classic Barry ones, before he died. I haven't really read many of those at all, but I have read some of the ones with Cold and Barry, and it's pretty cool to see them come to an agreement, sort of like they have it in the comics. They have sort of to go off track, horribly. Wally and Cold really, they have this cool story where Mirror Master, does some crazy shit, and Wally gets sent to another, mirror world, where the bad guys are cops, and the good guys are bad guys, I believe. Except for Cold. Cold was still not good, but he helped Wally, and they were sort of at an agreement, but Wally was sort of mean. And yeah, so on to my next moment. I got horribly off track there, but on to number 3, Lightning Psychosis. So during the episode, with Barry using his knowledge of the future evilly, he didn't know, like Wells explained, that it was the traumatic event happening of Weather Wizard about to destroy the city that caused Iris to have all those emotions all of a sudden. And so yeah, he tries to use this knowledge for the, evil, and he fails, but Caitlin bails him out by saying he has lightning psychosis, and Eddie hugs him after punching him. Jesus, I was laughing so hard. That was the funniest shit. When he walked into the diner again, and Eddie was coming up to him with that stern face, I was like, my god, there's gonna be a showdown, and then he just hugs him and I die. That was probably one of the funniest scenes of the whole show. The whole show. Jesus, words. And I'm probably going to rewatch it about 30 times. So on to my number 2 moment. Wells brings Cisco down to the RF trap, Reverse Flash trap, and it about gave me a heart attack. Cisco, after having told Barry that he had to give up his name, he decides he's going to leave, so he can't be the cause of Barry getting killed or something like that because of one of his fuck-ups again. So Wells takes him down to the RF trap to have a talk with him. I was sitting there no, don't you fucking do it. Don't you fucking do it. And he ended up getting this speech of, you've been like a son to me, or in many ways you've shown me what it's like to have a son, minus the hand in the chest, which was cool, but Jesus Christ, I can't be the only one that it gave a heart attack to. And my number 1 moment, Barry's catching on, which means Wells is very soon to be revealed in the next 3 episodes at least. In the episode, with Barry having his future or previous day version knowledge, him having a talk in that previous version of that day, probably said it backwards, with Mason Bridge about Wells doing something spooky with Sonic Stag, murdering him. He knew that, and he almost had a talk with Briggs. Well, he sort of had a talk with Briggs in this episode about it. He's just saying that he couldn't do it. But Wells finds out and murders Mason Briggs. And then at the end of the episode, as Barry's about to ask about Simon Stagg, freaking Mason Briggs is missing pops up on the TV screen or the computer screen. It's getting real. It's getting real, ladies and gentlemen. And then Barry and Joe have a talk at the very end about how Joe was probably right about everything, which Joe is right about everything. It's heating up, and I cannot wait. In the next 3 episodes, Wells is going to be revealed. I'd say it's either going to be at the end of episode 18 or in episode 19, because I just can't wait. I've got no words. Okay, guys, but on to our review. So I'm trying to get a little bit more professional with these reviews. Like, at the end, giving it a score. I'm not just gonna start giving it a 10, or keep giving it a 10 because it's The Flash. Last week's episode deserved a 10. That last 10 minutes was better. It was basically a finale. I saw a meme that was exactly right. It's like, you call that a finale? We call that episode 15, and it was so right. So that deserved a 10. This episode, not so much. It wasn't watered down, but it wasn't very spectacular. Nothing significant happened. Besides the, like, very end, and even that wasn't very significant. It's just like Barry has a hunch. The only other thing that you could say is significant is, Captain Cold finding out that Barry's the Flash. And that definitely doesn't deserve the score of 10. But it was funny. It did have some good action scenes. Unlike other people, I actually enjoy, like, the drama side of it with Barry, Iris, and Eddie and Linda. The, love square, I guess. So, I mean, I enjoyed that part. But, again, in this episode, it wasn't too spectacular. But the funny moments really, really made me want to give it an 8 or an 8.5. And that's what I'm doing. The episode was enjoyable. Like usual, time flew by because I enjoyed it so much. Whenever I'm enjoying something, time flies. If it's like slow and stuff, time goes slow. That 40 minutes went by in no time because I was having a ball. It was funny, it had action, and it had some alright drama to it. I didn't really like the way they ended off Weather Wizard. I mean, there wasn't even a fight when Barry went to capture him. It's just like, oh, I didn't know there were more of me. Boom, he's in the pipe. So, I mean, there wasn't really much there, but it is still worthy of an 8 or an 8.5. So, yeah. This is by far still one of my favorite shows, and one of the best shows on TV right now. Arrow's, like, right behind it, and then The Walking Dead's right behind that, and Game of Thrones is going to be up there when it gets back. But this is by far the best show on television right now. If you think against that, then you're just wrong. But anyways, guys, I want to go ahead and thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I'll see you guys on my Arrow review tomorrow.